I walk toward my husband's hospital suite, holding the medicine he needs. But I stop when I hear his sister, Layla, screaming at him from inside the room. "Brodie, have you completely lost it? What gave you the right to donate Bethany's bone marrow to Karen without her knowing?" My husband Brodie sounds completely heartless. The words hit me like ice. Karen is his first love. She's back. I didn't have any other option, Layla. Karen was on the verge of dying. The whole pre-pregnancy screening he pushed me into, it was all a lie. He tricked me, using our future child as an excuse to steal my bone marrow for her. Layla reminds him how I took 3 knife wounds for him 5 years ago. She tells him how I never left his side when he was stuck in a bed, unable to move. Now that you're healthy, you'd seriously put your own wife's life at risk, all over Karen? But Brodie just shuts her down. He doesn't care about me. He only cares about her. That's enough. Bethany's recovered. Bringing this up will only stress Karen out. I steady my breath, push the door open, and walk in with a calm expression. Brodie quickly hides his unease behind a gentle smile, acting like nothing is wrong. "Did you get the medicine?" I step around his outstretched hand, my voice completely flat. "Yeah." "Are we done here?" As we leave, I overhear 2 nurses gossiping about us. The irony is so bitter it makes me sick. They call me the luckiest woman alive, married to a perfect, devoted man. Then his phone rings. I see the caller ID before he can hide it. Karen. He lies, saying it's an urgent work call, and shoves me into a cab. Through the rear window, I watch his car speed away, not toward the office, but somewhere else. In that moment, I make my decision. This marriage is over. I immediately call Daniel Barnes, the most formidable divorce attorney in the city. Just as I hang up, a text from an unknown number lights up my screen. "I appreciate the bone marrow. Give up." What's the point of holding on to a man who doesn't love you? My cab passes a black Maybach, and a powerful man inside sees the anguish on my face. I step into our vast, empty villa. He's not here. He's still with her. I go straight to his study and turn on his computer. It's password protected. I try my birthday. Denied. My phone rings. It's my husband, Brodie. "Are you home, Bethany? Why didn't you message me?" He lies about being stuck at work. Things are a bit messy here, so I'll be home late. No need to stay up for me. I hang up without another word. The old, foolish me is gone. The next day, he barrels through the door and pulls me into a hug. I smell her cheap perfume all over his suit. "I'm so sorry, Bethany. I was tied up at work until morning." But I see it instantly, a smudge of red lipstick on his white collar. I force a perfect smile and push him away gently. He hands me a velvet box. Inside is a sparkling diamond necklace. "I'm not upset. You must be exhausted. Do you like it? I picked it out just for you." I pretend to be thrilled as he heads upstairs for a shower. Now is my chance. I find his phone on the nightstand. The passcode is still our anniversary. What a joke. His messages are all deleted. Too clean. But then a new notification appears. It's from his mistress, Karen. "Babe, I'm not okay. It hurts." Another message flashes. "My cut is bleeding. Am I dying?" Then she sends a photo. It's her, naked, straddling my husband in our bed. Around her neck is the exact same diamond necklace he just gave me. I immediately forward the entire chat, including the photo, to my own phone. The progress bar crawls. 52%. 87%. Suddenly, I hear a click. The bathroom door is opening right behind me. A sharp click echoes in the silence. My heart stops. I'm in my husband's study, copying the evidence from his phone. I think I'm caught, but it's just the wind. The file transfer completes. I erase my tracks and head downstairs. I immediately forward the entire chat history to my lawyer. This is the latest evidence. Then I take a picture of the necklace he gave me and send it to a reseller. "Sell this. Donate all proceeds." Just as I finish, Brodie appears. "Bethany, why aren't you resting?" I give him a cold stare. "I'm not feeling well. I'll sleep in the guest room tonight." He reaches out to touch my forehead, but I step away. His hand is left hanging in the empty air as I shut the door in his face. The next morning, my best friend Olivia calls me, frantic. "Bethany, I saw Brodie with another woman last night." "Who is that shameless woman?" "Karen Jenkins. His very first love. She wants to expose them, but I tell her to wait. I have a better plan." Meanwhile, Brodie walks into his office to devastating news. His company's biggest partner, the Taylor Group, has just terminated their contract. If this partnership fails, our cash flow will be in real danger. Brodie demands to know who is responsible. This was decided by their new CEO? Who is it? His assistant tells him the name of the man who just declared war. His name is Jonathan Taylor. I stand beside my husband Brodie at the city's most exclusive banquet, playing the part of his perfect wife. He parades me around in a shimmering gown, and I wear a smile that isn't real. Brodie thinks this night is about saving his company after a major deal fell through. He has no idea the man who canceled that deal is coming here tonight to burn his entire world down. That man's name is Jonathan Taylor. Right now, he sits in his high-rise suite, reading a file about my husband. He sees my passport photo clipped to the page. He reads my name, Bethany. Then his eyes land on the one line that seals my husband's fate. Forced his wife, Bethany, to undergo a bone marrow extraction to save Karen. A dangerous smile crosses Jonathan's lips as he realizes why I looked so fragile when he saw me. He decides right then that Brodie's suffering will be endless. And his first step is to attend this very banquet. Back in the ballroom, the air is stifling, and I need to escape. I whisper an excuse to Brodie and slip away to a quiet garden outside. But my moment of peace is shattered by a silky, provocative voice. "You must be Bethany." I turn to face her. It's Karen, the woman who took my bone marrow. She stands there in a bold red dress, every inch of her calculated to draw the eye. "What do you want?" She gives me a sweet, childlike smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "Brodie's always praising you for being such a devoted wife." I return her fake courtesy with a cold smile of my own. Oddly enough, I've never heard him mention you. Her expression falters, but she quickly recovers, her eyes sparkling with cruelty. Holding on to a man who doesn't love you is pointless, don't you think? Then she leans in to deliver her final, crushing blow. "Oh, and that good luck charm you made for him? He gave it to me. But honestly, I tossed it. Anything that's touched another woman isn't worth keeping." My husband's mistress, Karen, smirks at me by the pool. But after he stole my bone marrow for her, I feel nothing. "I tossed that trinket you made for Brodie. You don't mind, right? What Brodie gives me can't be bought. It's called love. I carved that charm for him while he lay dying in a hospital. My coldness infuriates her. It was a cheap charm, worthless. If it's real love, why is he still wearing a ring with my name on it?" I glance at the wedding ring on his finger. Her face twists in fury, but then she sees him walking towards us. A wicked smile plays on her lips as she glances at the water. She grabs my wrist and pulls me close. Let's see who Brodie chooses to save. Then she yanks me with her, straight into the freezing pool. I break the surface and see Brodie at the edge. His eyes are locked on me, full of worry. "Brodie, help me! I can't swim!" He dives in, swimming right past me to save her. He lifts her into his arms like she's precious. Over his shoulder, Karen gives me a victorious smirk. Then Brodie turns on me, his voice full of disgust. "How could you be so cruel? You dragged her down with you." He calls me cruel. I see Karen's smug face, and I snap. I storm right up to them. I draw back my foot and kick her right back into the pool. Brodie stares at his now empty arms, stunned. "You've already decided I'm the villain? I'd hate to disappoint you." My husband Brodie drags his mistress Karen out of the pool. He ignores me, his eyes only on her. "Bethany, have you completely lost your mind?" Karen leans against him, her voice a pathetic whisper. She pretends to be the victim. "Brodie, it's so hard to breathe. Don't blame Miss Reed." And I throw its contents right in her face. Brodie's face turns purple with rage. "Spare us the drama. You're out of control, Bethany." He thinks he can still command me, but he's wrong. I turn my back on him and his mistress. "Let's divorce, Brodie. I'll send you the papers." I walk away through the stunned crowd, soaked but unbroken. He thinks I'm just angry, that I'd never leave him. As I reach the corridor, a man in a sharp suit steps into my path. "Good evening, Miss Reed. Mr. Taylor would like to see you." He holds out a paper bag. Inside is a perfectly tailored brand new dress. "Mr. Taylor, Jonathan Taylor." He saw everything. 5 years ago, I found him bleeding on a rainy night. I saved his life and then disappeared. Now, the most powerful man in the city wants to see me, and it's clear he remembers everything. His assistant, Robert, offers me a paper bag containing a new dress. "Mr. Taylor is waiting for you on the penthouse terrace, Miss Reed." He calls me Miss Reed, not my ex-husband's name, and it feels like a promise. I change out of my ruined clothes, the soft fabric of the new dress, a stark contrast to my recent humiliation. The woman in the mirror is a stranger, calm, collected, and ready for a fight. I take the private elevator to the top floor, my heart pounding a steady rhythm. Jonathan Taylor stands on the terrace, a powerful silhouette against the glittering city lights. He turns as I approach, his face older and sharper than I remember. "That dress suits you." His gaze is intense, analytical, as if he's seeing right through me. 5 years have made you a different person, Miss Reed. You know how to guard yourself now. The words confirm it. He remembers me from before my life fell apart. Hard lessons make you change, especially when the cost is high. He tells me my ex-husband, Brodie, never deserved me, and the words land with surprising weight. Then he asks me what I plan to do, now that I'm free. I intend to reclaim what's rightfully mine, and make everyone responsible answer for what they've done. I challenge him, asking why he suddenly cut all business ties with my ex's company. A sly, knowing smile crosses his face, but his eyes are deadly serious. Sometimes, business gets a little personal. He looks me straight in the eye, his voice low and direct, a clear proposition. "It looks like we're after the same thing. Are you interested in an ally? An alliance with him could give me the power I need, but I know men like him always want something in return. What could I possibly offer you? My only marketable asset is a body already picked apart for marrow." His expression instantly darkens, a flicker of raw anger in his eyes before he masters it. His voice is steady, but his next words stop my heart cold. 5 years ago, you didn't hesitate to help a stranger lost in the storm. Don't let a man who never deserved you erase that. My mind flashes back through the years. A dark, winding road. A brutal, unforgiving storm. A stranger whose expensive car had broken down, leaving him stranded and vulnerable. I stare at the powerful billionaire in front of me, the pieces clicking into place. And I realize with a sickening jolt that helpless stranger was him. While I was on my way home, my powerful ally Jonathan was already making moves. Quicken the short selling of Evergreen Pharma's stock, and pull all of Karen's medical files. He was going to expose the truth about her supposed illness. Meanwhile, my husband Brodie was at the hospital with that very woman. Karen lay in a VIP suite, playing the part of a fragile victim. The doctor told Brodie she was fine, just a mild chill from when I pushed her in the pool. "I'm all right. Please don't be upset with Miss Reed. It's all my fault." For 5 years, her act would have worked on him. But tonight, for the first time, he felt annoyed by her weakness. He couldn't stop thinking about me, about my demand for a divorce. He left her alone in the hospital, something he never would have done before. The moment the door closed, Karen's wounded look vanished, replaced by pure bitterness. She was furious I had dared to fight back. I turned to face him, my eyes sharp and cold. When Brodie finally got home, he stormed into our walk-in closet. He cornered me against the jewelry cabinet, his body blocking my escape. Did you enjoy your little performance tonight, Bethany? We've got nothing left to say to each other, Brodie. In the old days, his closeness would have made my heart race. Now I felt nothing but the urge to laugh at him. My icy tone made his patience snap. He grabbed my wrist, his fingers digging into my skin. Nothing to say? Why did you shove Karen into the pool? And what about divorce? Do you think you can threaten me with it? I let out a dry, humorless laugh right in his face. I tried to pull my arm free, but his grip was like iron. Threaten you? You give yourself way too much credit. Let go of me. Looking at the man I once worshipped, I felt only pure disgust. My husband Brodie grabs my arm, his eyes burning with rage. I look him dead in the eye.
Is there someone else? Is that why you're suddenly so bold talking about divorce?
Did it ever cross your mind that she fell on purpose, just to put on a show for you?
He immediately defends his precious Karen. I laugh, a bitter and painful sound.
Karen's not like that. She's too fragile.
I tell him he's blind and has never once trusted me. I'm done trying to make him see.
And Brodie, just so we're clear, the divorce isn't a threat. It's a fact.
I turn and walk away, leaving him standing there speechless. But I don't even slow down. I hear him slam his fist into the wardrobe in a fit of rage.
You think I'll just agree to this? Keep dreaming, Bethany.
A moment later, his phone rings, and I hear his car speed away, rushing back to her side. The next morning, my phone chimes with a message from my friend Olivia. It's a screenshot of Karen's latest social media post. She's in a hospital bed, an IV in her arm, playing the perfect victim. Her caption asks people not to blame me, while also thanking the man who stayed with her all night. The comments are a flood of sympathy for her and pure hatred for me.
Aren't you furious, Bethany? We could do something about this.
I stop her right there. This is exactly what I want.
Let her put on a show. The higher she climbs now, the harder she'll fall.
As if on cue, a breaking news alert flashes across my screen. Wilson Group shares are in a free fall. The powerful Taylor Group has pulled out of all deals with Brodie's company. A slow smile spreads across my face. This is Jonathan's doing. Just then, Olivia sends another text.
About Karen. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. Her history is wild. I sent you the full scoop.
I open the encrypted file Olivia sent me, and it's filled with every single one of Karen's carefully constructed lies. Her prestigious degree from a world-class university was a complete and total fabrication. The truth is, she barely scraped by at some questionable diploma mill. But her so-called fragile, life-threatening illness was the biggest and most vicious lie of all. I stare at official copies of her real medical records from a reputable private hospital overseas. The results are undeniable. Aside from being mildly anemic, she's in perfect physical health. For years, Brodie used her fake illness as an excuse to harvest my bone marrow. He treated me like nothing more than a living bank of spare parts for a woman who was never sick. My initial anger quickly gives way to a cold, crystal-clear resolve for vengeance. Releasing this evidence now would be a foolish mistake. They would just find a way to cover their tracks. I need to wait for the perfect opportunity to make his entire world completely unravel. I pick up my phone and dial my trusted contact Olivia. For now, we hold steady. Keep collecting every scrap of information you can find. Also, I want constant updates on the Wilson Group's evergreen pharma deal. While I carefully set my trap, my husband Brodie is walking right into one of his own. At the hospital, he gets a furious phone call from a senior board member about his constant failures. Moments later, Karen puts on her usual frail and delicate act for him. Brodie, I feel so much better now. I think I'm finally ready to go home. He agrees without question, and the second he turns his back, her sweet expression completely vanishes. It's immediately replaced by a chilling look of cold, hard determination. After dropping the liar off at her house, Brodie goes to see his father, Tyler Wilson. The instant he crosses the threshold, a porcelain cup sails through the air, smashing against the wall. His father stands there absolutely shaking with pure, uncontained rage. Don't you dare call me that! Our family name is a joke because of you. The Wilson Group's shares are tanking. We've lost billions because of your foolishness. Tyler jabs a finger right at his son's chest, his voice dropping to a low and serious command. You need to set things right with Bethany. No matter what, you cannot let this marriage end. But he doesn't realize that it's already far too late for him. Because while he's being ordered to save his crumbling marriage, I'm unpacking boxes in my new home. I stand by the window of my Cloverdale apartment, gazing out at the city, finally free and ready for revenge. I'm driving through a storm, ignoring my ex's calls. Suddenly, a motorcycle swerves right in front of me. I slam on the brakes. A massive crash from behind sends me flying forward. My head cracks against the steering wheel. The driver who hit me is at my window. I'm really sorry. I'm in a hurry. Can we just exchange numbers? We're waiting for the police. I get out and see the back of my car is completely caved in. As I pull out my phone, a sleek black Cayenne pulls over. It's not the cops. Jonathan Taylor steps out, holding an umbrella against the rain. He slips his expensive suit jacket over my soaked shoulders. It's warm, and it smells like safety. You all right? The world tilts. And I stumble. He catches me, his arm a steel band around me. "I'm taking you home. My assistant will handle this." He asks if I can walk, but I'm too dizzy to answer. Without another word, he lifts me into his arms. "Mr. Taylor." "I can walk." "Don't move." "To the hospital." Now, my phone buzzes. It's Brodie again. I hit decline and toss it into my bag. I look over at Jonathan. He's watching me with a small, satisfied smile. Episode 12. I'm at the hospital waiting for a CT scan when my husband Brodie storms in. His face is a mask of pure rage, his hair soaked from the rain. He leans in, his voice a low growl. He marches right up to me and seizes my wrist, his grip like a vice. "Bethany, you've been dodging my calls and now you show up here with him?" I try to wrench my arm free, but he only tightens his hold. I look him dead in the eye. "Where I spend my time is not for you to decide. I'm your husband." Or did you forget that? That won't be true for much longer. His anger flashes, and he calls our problems a trivial matter. I give him nothing but cold silence. But before he can say more, Jonathan, the man who brought me here, steps forward. He clamps a hand on Brodie's wrist, easily forcing him to let me go. "Mr. Wilson, this is a hospital. Miss Reed needs rest, not your drama." Brodie seethes, completely outmatched and humiliated. To stop the scene, I ask Jonathan to leave, insisting I can handle it. Jonathan is gone, Brodie's venom returns. "So, how long has Jonathan been in the picture? Is that why you're so eager for a divorce?" I don't bother to answer his twisted fantasy. The results are clear. The injury is minor. A nurse calls my name for the scan, and I walk away, leaving him fuming. Outside, Brodie tries to play the part of a caring husband, paying my bill and getting my medicine. He retaliates by shoving me into his car and slamming the door. In the tense quiet, he scoffs at me. He even tries to make excuses for his affair with Karen. So this is what it takes to get my attention, parading Jonathan in front of me? "We're getting divorced, Brodie. That's all that matters." I pull the jacket I'm wearing tighter and suddenly notice an unfamiliar scent. It's not mine. Brodie's eyes lock onto it, his face darkening with a new wave of rage. "Where did you get that jacket?" In the car, my husband Brodie's jaw clenches as he glares at the jacket on my shoulders. "Let me guess, it's Jonathan's, right?" I tell him it doesn't belong to him. His temper explodes. He grabs the expensive fabric, yanking it from my body while he's still driving. Then he throws it out the open window into the night. Back at our villa, the stress makes me sick. I'm burning up with a fever, shivering under the blankets. Brodie hovers over me, pretending to be the caring husband. Then his phone flashes on the nightstand. He sees me looking and immediately rejects the call. But I was never asleep. I heard every single word. "Just a random number, nothing important. Get some rest. Calm down. I'll be there soon. Don't worry. Bethany, are you all right? I'll take you to see a doctor." I close my eyes, pretending to drift off. He slips onto the balcony and quietly dials the number back. Without a second glance at me, he grabs a jacket and leaves. At dawn, Brodie crawls back into bed. He reeks of a heavy, unfamiliar perfume. He leans in to kiss me, acting like he was here all night. The thought of his mouth on my skin, tainted by another woman, makes my stomach turn. I shove him away and double over, retching uncontrollably. He fusses with my blankets and slips out of the room. I see the flash of impatience under his concerned act. I tell him to go about his business, that I just need to rest. The moment the door clicks shut, my eyes snap open. The sick, weak woman he left behind is gone. All that's left is piercing, cold resolve. I find my husband Brodie in the dining room. He tries to check my temperature, but I step away from his touch. "You scared me last night. You should eat." He acts like he didn't cheat on me. Then he tells me what he really wants. "My parents called this morning. They'd like us to have dinner with them this weekend." I almost laugh. I remember giving up my career for his family. Us? You mean both of us together? I remember his mother telling me I'd never be good enough. And now he wants me to play the happy wife. Let's just forget what happened last night. I'm willing to let it go. My blood runs cold. I've heard enough. Excuse me? You really believe all this is my fault? Isn't it? You dodged my calls and spent the evening with Jonathan. There's nothing left for us to talk about. Let's end this cleanly. Panic flashes in his eyes before he hardens his jaw. He thinks he can keep me and his mistress. Don't even think about it, Bethany. Divorce is not happening. So he goes straight for my most vulnerable spot. You don't earn a cent. Where are you getting the money to pay for your grandmother's surgery? He storms out, convinced he's won. He thinks I'm a penniless housewife he can control. But he's forgotten one crucial fact. I am the head of the R&D department for his own company. He tricked me into a $1 a year contract, stealing my groundbreaking research for free. He did it to make me completely dependent on him. He thinks my grandmother is my weak point. But my only weakness was my love for him. And now, it's gone. Brodie walks out, thinking he's won. He thinks he can control me by threatening my grandmother's life. But he's forgotten who he's dealing with. He failed to realize that his entire company was built on my work. All the major patents that make Wilson Group successful belong to me, and me alone. It's time he felt the consequences. I pick up my phone and dial my accountant.
Hi, this is Bethany. I need a full breakdown of all the licensing income I'm owed from my research. I need those figures as soon as possible.
Every single dollar he owes me, I plan to reclaim. My phone buzzes again. It's my best friend, Olivia.
He's still holding out after everything he's done? Bethany, I'll help you find a top-notch divorce lawyer.
I tell her about Brodie's latest threat, using my grandmother's surgery to keep me trapped. But I also tell her not to worry. After we hang up, I start packing my belongings.
I have a plan. He thinks he's got me cornered, but he's in for a shock. All the key tech is under my name. If Wilson Group loses the rights, their entire operation will grind to a halt.
Each box I fill feels like I'm breaking down the prison he built around me. Meanwhile, across town, Brodie is walking into his office. His assistant Callum is waiting with a panicked look on his face.
Mr. Wilson, the Taylor Group still refuses to budge. What's more, several banks are dodging us. The entire funding chain for Evergreen Pharma could snap at any moment.
Brodie slams his fist on the desk in fury. The pressure is mounting from every direction. The board is losing patience, and his projects are all stalled. Callum takes a deep breath before delivering the final blow.
Mr. Wilson, this entire project started with Mrs. Wilson. She's the one holding the key technology. Maybe we should reach out to her.
A storm brews in Brodie's eyes. He finally understands. The one person who can save his entire empire is the woman who just tried to destroy. After leaving my husband, I moved into my new apartment. To celebrate my freedom, I went to the mall to buy a birthday gift for my friend Olivia. I decided to use the credit card my soon-to-be ex, Brodie, gave me years ago. He called it a gesture of love, but I never touched it until today. I walked into a luxury boutique, looking for a specific handbag.
Do you have the candy-colored handbag from this fall's collection?
The sales assistant gave me an apologetic look. I'm sorry, that style sold out during the pre-order period. Just as I turned to leave, a sickeningly sweet voice rang out. I froze. It was Karen, my husband's mistress.
Oh, I believe there's still one of those left. I made a reservation.
She strolled in, dripping with designer labels, and shot me a challenging smirk. The sales assistant immediately rushed to get her the bag. I looked her dead in the eye.
I have to say, you picked the same one I wanted. Maybe you'll get lucky next season.
Her voice was dripping with fake pity. Her smile stiffened. She knew exactly what I meant.
I never go after things that are already spoken for. I hope you enjoy it. What's that supposed to mean? Stop right there. Don't pretend you're above it all.
I didn't bother to answer and turned to leave. She began to shriek. That made me stop.
Brodie doesn't care about you. I'm the one he loves. You're just a stepping stone he's using.
I turned back to face her, my expression like ice. I let the silence hang in the air for a moment.
It's amazing how things have changed. Mistresses used to hide in the shadows, terrified of the consequences. Now they strut around in public, trying to shame the wife instead.
I face my husband's mistress, Karen, in a high-end boutique. She holds a purse she just bought with his money, a smug look on her face.
Anyone who isn't loved is just a stranger. Brodie and I were always meant for each other.
A dry laugh escapes my lips.
You want to be Brodie's wife? Go ahead. Feel free to pick up the garbage I tossed.
Her face contorts with rage, but she can't find the words to fight back. I point to the credit card still clutched in her hand.
Since we aren't divorced, that's shared marital property. Send half the cost to my account in 3 days, or you'll get a letter from my lawyer.
Her confidence shatters completely. I leave her standing there, burning with shame as the other shoppers stare. But Karen doesn't accept defeat. Simmering with anger, she storms out of the mall and speeds straight to my husband's company. She pushes past his assistant and bursts into Brodie's office. She finds him stressed and immediately begins to massage his temples, her voice a seductive whisper.
I want to be part of your business, Brodie. Let me help you.
She convinces him that he needs someone loyal by his side. Without a second thought, he pulls her onto his lap.
You'll join the Evergreen Pharma project as my personal assistant. Learn everything.
Just like that, she gets exactly what she wanted, a place inside his world. That evening, Brodie returns home to find me in the yard beside a small fire. His phone suddenly chimes, and a sly smile curls his lips as he looks at the screen. I know it's her. He's looking at a seductive photo she sent, wearing pink lace and lying on a bed of rose petals. He quickly texts back a single promise. Wait for me. While his attention is lost in his phone, I toss another stack of photos into the blaze. It's our wedding picture, the one where we both looked so happy. I watch our smiling faces blacken, curl into smoke, and finally crumble into nothing.
What are you burning? The smoke's everywhere.
I keep my eyes locked on the flames, refusing to look at him.
Only by burning it all to ashes can you leave no trace behind.
I burn the last of our memories as my husband, Brodie, watches. He doesn't care at all.
Do whatever you want. Just don't burn the whole yard down.
He walks back inside, changes his suit, and leaves without a backward glance. I watch the final ember die. It carries away the last of my feelings for him. I pull out my phone and make the call.
Daniel, I'm ready for the next phase.
Brodie doesn't come home that night. By morning, I've moved all my things into my own apartment. I'm finally starting over. But as I sit down for a meal, my phone rings. It's the hospital. My heart stops.
I'm close. I'll be there right away.
I race out and jump in a cab. I burst through the hospital entrance and collide hard with a man in a sharp suit. He's older, with gold-rimmed glasses and an air of authority. He steadies me, his eyes lingering on my face.
Sorry, please excuse me.
I don't wait for a reply. I run down the hall to the oncology ward. My grandmother Vera is there, looking pale but trying to smile for me. I rush to her side and take her frail hand. I try to hide my worry, but she sees right through me.
You seem troubled, Bethany.
Her loving gaze stays fixed on my face. I look away, my chest tightening with the truth I can't yet say.
Did something happen between you and Brodie?
Episode 19. I had to lie to my grandmother's face. Her health is fragile, and the truth about my divorce would kill her.
Everything's fine. I've just been swamped with work.
She saw right through it, but let it go. I couldn't break down in front of her. I left the room to find her doctor, desperate for answers. That's when I heard his voice. My husband, Brodie. He was with Karen, the woman he cheated on me with.
I already spoke to Director Carter about it. There's a group of international specialists visiting next week. I'll make sure he arranges something.
I can't thank you enough, Brodie. You're so thoughtful.
Everything I do is because I care about you.
His words left me cold. He was arranging the best care for her mother while I was hiding our broken marriage from mine. I found Dr. Davies' office and knocked. The doctor's face was grim.
Things have taken a turn for the worse. See this shadow? That's the tumor.
He told me the surgery was incredibly risky. My world started to crumble.
We'd be looking at less than a 40% chance of success.
But then, he offered a single sliver of hope.
An international medical delegation is coming. If your grandmother is chosen for their demonstration surgery, her odds would jump to 70%.
My heart leaped. I had to get her that spot. How do we convince them to pick her?
It's a tough competition. There are many patients.
I thanked the doctor and left, my mind racing. Just as I walked out, another doctor entered his office. He was holding another patient's scans. The patient had the exact same condition as my grandmother. Her name was Elena Jenkins. She was Karen's mother, and Brodie was already pulling strings to get her the spot. I walk out of the doctor's office, my heart sinking to the floor. He told me my grandmother's operation only has a 40% chance of success. My only hope is a team of overseas experts who are scheduled to visit for a medical exchange. I have to fight for that chance. I force a smile as I step into my grandmother Vera's room. Bethany, I keep telling you, you worry too much about me. I can't let her know how serious things really are. I have to carry this burden myself. The doctor said you just need to rest, Grandma. I'll come visit you tomorrow. But as I'm about to leave, she brings up my husband. The mention of his name is a sharp pain in my chest. Try not to argue with Brodie. Marriage works best when both people are willing to meet halfway. I make an excuse and hurry out of the ward. What I don't see is the sleek black Rolls-Royce parked across the street. He sees the despair written all over my face. And I have no idea that a man named Jonathan Taylor is watching me get into a taxi. Look into it. He gives a simple command to his assistant, Robert. A short while later, Robert returns with the full story. Mr. Taylor, Miss Reed was at the hospital because her grandmother, Vera, is battling a brain tumor. Robert explains the high-risk surgery and the low odds of success. He tells him about the elite team of specialists, my only real hope. Has Brodie been informed about any of this? The answer is the ultimate betrayal. My husband was in the very same hospital. Brodie was at the hospital earlier today, but his visit was for Elena Jenkins. Not for my grandmother, but for his mistress's mother. He is stealing my grandmother's only chance to survive. And he is already working with the hospital director to guarantee Elena a place with the foreign experts. I just picked my car up from the shop when a cold dread washes over me. Jonathan Taylor's jacket. My useless husband, Brodie, threw it out in a fit of rage. It was a custom-tailored suit, probably worth more than my car. On top of my sister's hospital bills, this new debt feels like it could crush me. I have to take responsibility for this. My hands are shaking as I dial the number for his assistant, Robert. I explain that the jacket is gone. I'm really sorry. I meant to return it, but it's missing now. Then I force myself to ask the most humiliating question. The line goes completely silent for a long moment. Could you please give me his height, weight, and measurements? I need to replace the whole suit. Just as I think he's about to hang up, a different voice speaks. It's deep, smooth, and it sends a shiver down my spine. Miss Reed, my heart hammers against my ribs. It's Jonathan Taylor himself. Mr. Taylor? He tells me not to worry about the suit. It's just an article of clothing. It means nothing. I still think I should. I try to insist, to tell him that it was my fault and I have to fix it. But he cuts me off with a shocking, playful comment. If you're that curious about my body size, you could have just asked me. I'd have answered, no problem. Heat rushes to my face, and my ears start to burn. I'm completely mortified, fumbling for words to defend myself. But then his tone changes, becoming unexpectedly gentle. Let the suit go, Bethany. Your family needs you more. The call ends. I'm left frozen in my car, his last words echoing in my head. He told me to focus on my family. How could he possibly know about my crisis? Episode 22. My husband Brodie drives me to his mother's mansion for our weekly visit. He's been cold all week, and the silence in the car is heavy. It wasn't there last week. That's when I see it, a sparkling crystal snowflake hanging from his mirror, throwing rainbows everywhere. The car also reeks of a cloyingly sweet perfume I know isn't mine. This has Karen, his mistress, written all over it. He notices me staring and immediately gets defensive, forcing out an explanation.
That's nothing. A friend left it. You're not bothered, are you?
Of course not.
I give him the answer he wants to hear, but my voice is ice. Inside, his mother Carmen greets us, her critical stare sweeping over my dress with clear dissatisfaction.
Bethany, you look so thin. As Brodie's wife, it's your job to stay well and keep him from worrying.
She's an expert at polite insults, always finding a way to blame me. And as always, Brodie stands by and lets her attack me without saying a word. Then, right on cue, she brings up her favorite topic of conversation.
You two have been married for some time now. The Wilsons need the next generation.
When I remain silent, her tone sharpens into pure cruelty. But I am done being their quiet, obedient doll.
Look at yourself, so frail. It's no wonder you haven't gotten pregnant yet.
In her eyes, I'm not a person. I'm just a vessel for her grandchild.
Carmen, having a child isn't something one person decides alone. Apologize? For what?
Her fury erupts instantly, and my husband doesn't hesitate to take her side.
Bethany, watch your attitude and apologize to my mother.
I finally turn my cold gaze on him. I stand up and walk towards the door, but he shouts after me, using the one thing he thinks I can't ignore.
Without the Wilson name, you have nothing. Think about your grandmother before you say another word.
I stop and turn to face them, my voice ringing clear and unwavering.
I would rather collapse in the streets than crawl back to this family for anything. Let's get a divorce.
I look my husband in the eye, the man I once loved, and deliver the final blow. Episode 23. I look my husband Brodie in the eye and tell him I want a divorce. The lavish room falls silent, the air thick with shock. I watch the warmth drain from his face, replaced by a cold, dangerous resolve.
You think the Wilson family is a place you can come and go as you please?
He lunges forward, his fingers digging into my arm in a punishing grip. But I am not the same weak woman he married. I wrench my arm free, shaking him off so forcefully he stumbles back.
You made our marriage a joke the moment you tricked me into giving my bone marrow to your old flame.
The color drains from his face. He never imagined I would find out the truth. He stammers a weak excuse about how he was just helping her.
It wasn't as if you were truly hurt.
A bitter laugh escapes my lips.
Not hurt? Spare me the justifications. They make me sick.
His mother, Carmen, begins to shriek from the sidelines.
Throw her out. She'll get nothing. Not a single cent. Let's see how far she gets with that frail old grandmother of hers.
I refuse to give them a reaction. I simply turn my back and walk out, shutting the door on their furious shouts. I know what Brodie is doing the second I leave. He's on the phone with his assistant, his voice flat and cold. He orders every one of my credit cards frozen. He thinks he can starve me into submission. He stops all payments for my grandmother's hospital bills, effective immediately. But then his father, Tyler, appears at the top of the stairs. He reminds his arrogant son of a very inconvenient truth.
Our stock can't take another scandal, and the Wilson Group is still relying on the research authorization she handed over.
The room goes quiet. They forgot about my patents, the technology I developed long before I ever met them. I see the look on Brodie's face change from simple anger to cold calculation. He now knows this isn't about punishing me anymore. It's about securing my life's work, one way or another. For days, I've been ignoring my ex-husband Brodie's calls, focusing only on my sick grandmother. I sit nervously in Dr. Davies' office, expecting the worst. But then, she gives me news that changes everything.
Miss Reed, I have wonderful news. The hospital is moving your grandmother's case to the very top of their priority list. Dr. Smith himself wants to oversee the surgery.
My breath catches in my throat. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Is that really true? But I don't know how I can pay for all of this.
The doctor explains that an anonymous philanthropist created a special grant. The surgery and all the costs will be covered. Tears of pure relief stream down my face as I thank her.
If you really want to express your gratitude, save it for the anonymous philanthropist who made all of this possible.
I step out of her office, my heart soaring, and nearly collide with my rival, Karen. She looks me up and down with a fake sweet smile.
Miss Reed, fancy running into you here.
I try to walk past, but she blocks my way, her voice dripping with condescension.
I heard your grandmother's health isn't looking good. Those international specialists are only seeing a handful of patients. Cases like your grandmother's hardly ever make the shortlist.
She's so sure that Brodie has already secured the spot for her mother. I stop and turn to face her, a confident smile spreading across my face. For days, I've been ignoring my ex-husband Brodie's calls, focusing only on my sick grandmother.
Thank you for your concern, Miss Jenkins. Dr. Smith's team has already agreed to take on my grandmother's case, and he'll personally be leading her surgery.
For days, I've been ignoring my ex-husband Brodie's calls, focusing only on my sick grandmother. The smugness instantly drains from Karen's face.
That can't be right. Dr. Smith's calendar was already...
She stares at me, her mind racing, unable to believe I could have won.
Looks like you've been fed some pretty outdated news, Miss Jenkins.
She shoots me a furious look before hurrying away to find a doctor. I rush to my grandmother's room and tell her everything. Seeing the hope return to her eyes makes my heart overflow. But a question lingers in my mind. Who is the generous person who helped us? Only one name comes to mind, Jonathan, the mysterious man who always appears when I need him most. Meanwhile, Karen storms out of the hospital, her face streaked with tears. She furiously dials a number on her phone.
Brodie, I just spoke with the doctor. Dr. Smith's team is taking on Bethany's grandmother. I thought you said the spot was set aside for my mother.
On the other end of the line, my ex-husband is completely blindsided, his voice tense with shock. My phone buzzed on the nightstand as my grandmother slept. I saw Brodie's name glaring back at me from the screen. I slipped out of the room and walked to the quiet end of the hospital corridor. Taking a deep breath, I steeled myself and answered the call. Hello? His voice exploded through the phone, filled with raw fury. So this is your game, Bethany? When did you start getting close to Jonathan? I was completely lost. I had no idea what he was accusing me of. I have no idea what you're talking about. He let out a harsh, ugly laugh. Oh, cut the act, your anonymous donor. It's Jonathan. He's the one pulling the strings. My chest tightened as his words hit me. The secret fund for my grandmother's surgery. The world-class team of specialists. It was him. It really was Jonathan. But that shock was quickly replaced by a fresh sting of humiliation. Brodie would always think the worst of me. Who I choose to spend time with isn't any of your business. I reminded him our marriage was over. The only thing tying us together now is a stack of divorce papers. He thundered back, losing all control. Divorce? Not a chance. You're not leaving this family unless I say so. He tried to threaten me, to make me feel powerless. When he gets bored, you and your grandmother will have nothing left. But his cruelty only made me stronger. Whether I've got someone in my corner or not, this marriage is finished. He started to scream my name again. Bethany, don't you dare! I didn't let him finish. I ended the call with a single tap. Then I blocked his number for good. My husband had no idea that my secret savior was his greatest rival. I clutched my phone, my mind reeling from the shock. The mysterious benefactor who paid for my grandmother's surgery was Jonathan Taylor. He's a titan of industry, a man of immense power who had no reason to keep helping me. I had to thank him, so I sent a message, my pulse drumming in my ears. His reply came minutes later, as cool and understated as the man himself.
Take good care of your grandmother.
It was him. He had stepped in when my own husband's family had abandoned us. But while I felt a flood of warmth, my ex-husband Brodie was consumed by a cold, jealous fury. Across town in his CEO's office, he snarled Jonathan's name.
Why is he poking his nose into my family's business?
The thought of me with a man more powerful than him was a crisis he couldn't handle. He gave his assistant a sharp, desperate order.
Dig deeper. I want every last detail of whatever's going on between Bethany and Jonathan.
A few days later, the world-renowned surgeon Dennis Smith and his team arrived at the hospital. They were my grandmother's only chance for survival. But of course, Brodie immediately tried to steal the surgeon for Elena. He stormed into the hospital director's office, ready to use the full weight of the Wilson name.
Elena's life hangs in the balance. Reconsider. Whatever it costs, name your price.
The director, Demir, simply adjusted his glasses and gave him a brittle smile.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Wilson. Dr. Smith's team is booked solid.
Demir explained the team's entire schedule had already been locked in. Every cent of the expense was quietly covered by a private charitable fund for another patient. Brodie's expression turned to stone. He knew exactly who that other patient was. Then, with delicate cruelty, Demir twisted the knife.
Unless, of course, you can convince the other patient to step aside.
The man who left my grandmother to die now has to come to me on his knees and beg. I'm standing in the hospital corridor when my soon-to-be ex-husband corners me. Brodie's face is a mask of fury. I try to step around him. My voice ice. He moves, blocking my path completely. We need to talk. There's nothing left to talk about, except the divorce. It's about your grandmother's surgery slot. I freeze, thinking I must have misheard him. He wants me to give up my grandmother's only chance to live. For his mistress's mother, the same man who swore to be faithful while he was warming Karen's bed. Please let Elena have this slot. Her situation is more dire. I swear I'll bring in another team for your grandmother. Another one of his hollow promises. I look him dead in the eye. His face turns to thunder. Tell me, Brodie, from what position are you asking me to trade my grandmother's life? As the husband who is already 1 foot out the door? Stop being so damned selfish. This is a life or death situation. A bitter smile touches my lips. He actually starts begging me then. Begging me? For another woman? Exactly. That is why I won't give it up. Bethany, I'm begging you. Karen can't lose her mother. But watching him humble himself for his mistress only hardens my resolve. I step past him and don't look back. The slot is not negotiable. Stop wasting your time. I hear the thud of his fist hitting the wall behind me. He leaves humiliated, suspecting I have a powerful man on my side now. He decides to have private investigators dig into my life. But what Brodie doesn't know is that the man backing me already knows. And he just gave the order to make the Wilson Group's biggest project fall apart. I sat by my grandmother's hospital bed, completely unaware of the storm brewing outside. Her surgery was scheduled, and all I cared about was easing her fears.
Grandma, don't worry. Once you're back on your feet, I'll take you to all those charming little towns you've been dreaming of visiting.
But while I was focused on her, my enemies were making their moves. Karen Jenkins was furious that her mother couldn't get a surgery slot. She blamed me, and she decided to ruin me. She picked up her phone and called a notorious paparazzo named Leon.
Leon, you're my only hope this time.
She spun a venomous story, painting me as a villain who stole her mother's chance at life. Leon, smelling a huge scandal, asked for proof. Karen just laughed. She didn't need proof.
But what about the evidence?
Evidence? Forget about it. I'll hand you something tantalizing. Suggestive enough.
Her plan was simple. Use lies and public outrage to corner me, leaving me with no one to protect me. At the exact same time, my ex-fiancé Brodie was watching his own world burn. His most important land project was suddenly shut down by investigators. He was convinced Jonathan was sabotaging him. For me, his assistant then handed him a report confirming Jonathan's deep personal involvement in my grandmother's care. Blind with rage, Brodie snatched his phone to call me, but I had already blocked his number. He roared in fury and hurled his phone against the wall, shattering it to pieces.
Bethany, Jonathan.
He swore he would make us both pay for his humiliation. I knew nothing of their schemes. My world was this quiet hospital room. That is, until my phone began to buzz violently. It was my best friend, Olivia, and she was screaming.
Bethany, have you seen the news? Oh my God, what's happening?
A cold wave of dread washed over me. What news? My phone buzzes with a frantic call from my friend.
Bethany, you've got to check the headlines. It's about you and Mr. Taylor. You're trending.
My stomach drops. She sends me a link, and my hands tremble as I click it. The screen is flooded with sensational headlines. Shocking. Mrs. Wilson climbs the social ladder, snatches life-saving surgery. They've put a photo of me next to a public photo of Jonathan Taylor, implying we're intimately involved. The articles claim I used my connections to steal a critical surgery slot from another patient. It's a smear campaign designed to paint me as a monster. The comments are a river of poison, calling me a heartless gold digger. This is an attack on me and my grandmother, timed right before her operation.
This has to be Karen behind this. I'll get this nonsense taken down.
But I stop her. I have to stay calm for my grandmother.
No, Olivia. Trying to erase it now will just make us look guilty.
I block all unknown numbers and beg the head nurse to keep reporters away from her ward. Just as I feel a moment of relief, my phone buzzes again. My heart skips a beat. It's Jonathan. I step into a quiet corner to answer.
You've seen the news.
I brace myself, expecting him to be furious that I've brought him trouble.
Yes, I'm sorry for dragging you into this.
But his voice is steady, a shield against the storm. No questions, no doubt. Just a simple, unwavering statement of trust.
Don't worry. Focus on the surgery. I'll handle everything else.
Tears sting my eyes as he hangs up. Meanwhile, at his mansion, Jonathan puts his phone down, his expression razor sharp.
Tell the legal team to gather every piece of evidence. We're filing lawsuits.
He issues a series of chilling commands to his assistant.
And track down that reporter. Have someone explain the legal consequences of slander.
The people who attacked me have no idea who they just provoked. They wanted a fight, but now they're about to face Jonathan Taylor's brand of ruthlessness. I saw the avalanche of news coverage about my wife, Bethany. Fabricated rumors about her and another man, Jonathan, were everywhere. At first, I felt a flicker of satisfaction, but it quickly soured into pure irritation. These lies screamed to the world that my wife was cheating on me. The vile comments about her and her sick grandmother made my chest tighten. My assistant Callum asked if our PR team should handle it.
Handle it and look like I have something to hide?
I stared him down, my voice dripping with ice.
Or are you suggesting I need to protect a woman who might actually be cheating on me?
Callum fell silent. I waved him away. I almost called to have the news suppressed, at least to protect Bethany's grandmother from the slander. But I stopped myself. Bethany had trampled on my dignity. Why should I help her? I decided to wait and see how her new protector, Jonathan, would handle this media storm. I didn't have to wait long. Within the hour, his team released a joint official statement with the hospital. It was swift, methodical, and ruthless. Public opinion shifted almost instantly. I stared at the screen, my expression darkening as I watched him clean up the mess so perfectly. He had far surpassed my expectations. Just then, my private phone rang. It was Karen.
Brodie, did you see the news? How could Miss Reed do such a thing and drag you into it?
I tried to explain the facts, that the news was fabricated.
I saw the statement, but Brodie, you know how the public works. If Miss Reed truly behaved properly, how did such a storm erupt?
Her words were a balm to my wounded pride. Compared to Bethany's coldness, Karen truly understood me. I promised to arrange the best doctors for her mother's surgery. As for Bethany, if she had truly betrayed me, she would get no mercy from me. But at that very moment, she was at the hospital, completely unaware, as her grandmother was wheeled into the operating room for a life-or-death surgery. I stare at the glaring red light of the operating room, my hands shaking. My grandmother is my only family left, and the doctor said her surgery will take at least 4 hours. Just as my anxiety becomes unbearable, I hear calm, unhurried footsteps echoing down the hallway. I lift my head and freeze. It's Jonathan Taylor, my powerful boss. He looks untouchable in a flawless dark suit, his presence cutting through the hospital's tension. I immediately scramble to my feet. Mr. Taylor, I didn't expect you to come. Just passing by. How is she? It's an obvious lie. The Taylor Group has no buildings for miles. He doesn't wait for an invitation, simply taking the seat right beside me. It's fine. I'll stay until your grandmother's operation is finished. His assistant hands him a folder, and he effortlessly turns the hallway into his office. I watch him work, understanding this is his quiet way of supporting me. But while he's here for me, my own husband is in another VIP ward with his mistress, Elena. Brodie is listening to a surgical expert, Dawson Harris, review Elena's condition. Suddenly, a nurse enters the room with an update for the doctor. She announces that the world-renowned Dr. Dennis Smith has just started his procedure. Brodie's entire body goes rigid. Dr. Harris, did the nurse just say Dr. Smith is in surgery right now? The doctor, confused by his intensity, confirms the surgery is for my grandmother, Vera Reed. The truth hits Brodie like a ton of bricks. I found the best surgeon in the country, and I shut him out completely. He, my legal husband, had to find out from a complete stranger. His face becomes a cold, emotionless mask as he turns to Elena's mother. Something urgent just came up. I need to deal with it. Before anyone can react, he strides out, radiating waves of pure fury. He storms through the hospital until he reaches the operating room wing and stops dead in his tracks. He sees me sitting there, and then he sees Jonathan Taylor right beside me. A scorching wave of rage roars through him as he stalks toward us. Bethany, I'm waiting for news on my grandmother's surgery when a voice full of rage cuts through the hospital's silence. It's my husband, Brodie, and his face is a mask of pure fury as he storms toward me. Unbelievable. Your grandmother's undergoing a major surgery, and I'm the last to know. Am I even your husband in your eyes anymore? He has the audacity to question me now, after he was nowhere to be found when my grandma collapsed. When my grandma needed you most, you disappeared. So what gives you the right to stand here and act like you care? His angry glare shifts from me to the man sitting calmly by my side, Jonathan Taylor. Fine, we've got problems. I'll admit that. But some outsider like him has no right to butt in. Jonathan slowly rises to his feet, his calm presence a stark contrast to Brodie's rage. This is a hospital, Mr. Wilson. Keep your voice down. Brodie's fists clench at his sides, his whole body trembling as he prepares to lunge at Jonathan. Without a second thought, I move to stand directly between them, shielding Jonathan with my own body. Seeing me protect another man from him sends Brodie over the edge. So, this is how it is? You and I aren't finished. Not by a long shot. He spins on his heel and storms down the hall, leaving a heavy, toxic silence behind him. Just as I try to process what happened, the light above the operating room door suddenly snaps off. I leap from my chair so fast that the world goes dark, my body wobbling as dizziness hits me. Before I can fall, a strong, steady hand catches my arm, grounding me instantly. It's Jonathan. The operating room doors swing open, and the surgeon emerges, pulling down his mask with an exhausted but bright smile. Miss Reed, the surgery was a success. The tumor's gone. A wave of relief so powerful it almost brings me to my knees washes over me. My grandmother is safe. After she is wheeled past us to the ICU, I finally turn to the man who made all of this possible. Mr. Taylor, I honestly don't know how to thank you. He just tells me to focus on her recovery, reassuring me that he has handled everything else. But as I stand there watching my grandmother, I feel a sudden, unexplainable chill. At the far end of the hallway, a man I've never seen before has stopped walking. He is staring directly at me, and a shadow passes over his face as he locks onto my silhouette. He knows who I am. My friend Olivia leans in, her eyes wide with gossip. She drops her voice to a whisper. All anyone's talking about is Jonathan. They're saying he burned every bridge just to protect you. Come on, Bethany. Is there something going on? The rumor is you're his untouchable. His untouchable. The words make my cheeks burn. Just then, my phone buzzes with a bank transfer alert. Don't be ridiculous. It's just gossip. The sender is my husband, Brodie. A moment later, his name flashes on my screen. I step away and answer with an icy tone. What now? You got the transfer, right? Make sure your grandmother gets the best care. He acts like he's a saint, not the man who ignored us when we were desperate. I'm not letting anyone claim the Wilson family didn't treat you properly. I don't hesitate for a second. That's unnecessary. Your money's going right back where it came from. His voice turns sharp and cold. Don't make this difficult. Are you so eager to take Jonathan's money instead? He always twists everything into something ugly. Before I can fire back, he gives me an order. Tomorrow night, there's a banquet. Grandpa expects you to be there. Don't forget, you're still a Wilson. He hangs up before I can say a word. He's using his grandfather, the only kind man in his family, to trap me. I have to go, but it won't be for him. I immediately open my banking app. I find the exact amount he sent, and I transfer it right back to his account. I attach only 2 words to the transfer. Not needed. Mr. Taylor sent some meals. He asks that you take care of yourself. Inside is fragrant chicken soup and fresh side dishes. Brodie just sent money. A cold and arrogant gesture. But this is different. This is genuine care. That evening, I have to attend a Wilson family dinner. I return to the villa I once shared with Brodie. I put on a simple lotus-colored dress. In the mirror, my eyes are cold and detached. The old anxiety I felt around him is gone, replaced by a steady calm. I arrive at the brightly lit Wilson mansion. As I enter, the room falls silent. All eyes are on me. They are judging, curious, and scornful. Brodie's cousin Alicia is the first to speak. Well, look who finally decided to grace us with her presence. I ignore her and walk straight to the family patriarch, Matthews. He greets me warmly, guiding me to the seat beside him. But Brodie glares from across the room. Bethany, you made it! I'm relieved your grandmother pulled through. Grandpa, don't fuss. She's got someone else running after her these days. The air turns to ice. He's talking about Jonathan. I meet his stare head on. I'm grateful Mr. Taylor stepped up when my grandmother was at death's door. It's more than some family did. His face twists with fury. He surges to his feet, ready to explode. Enough. There will be no more arguing at my table. After a tense dinner, Matthews tells Brodie to drive me home. The moment the old man is gone, Brodie looms over me. Come on, I'm driving you home. We're alone now, Bethany. Tell me, what is it you really want? I meet his burning gaze without flinching. A divorce. A divorce? What makes you think you can just walk away? Is this about Jonathan? He leans in, his voice a low threat that fills the small space. Listen carefully. Unless I say otherwise, you will always be Mrs. Wilson. I refuse to let him blame anyone else for his own actions. You threw me aside for someone else. Shouldn't you be glad I'm clearing the way for the woman you actually want? Before I can say more, he smashes his mouth onto mine. I'm hit with the disgusting smell of tobacco, alcohol, and another woman's cheap perfume. A wave of pure disgust washes over me. So I bite down on his lip. Hard. He cries out in pain, pulling back as blood drips from his mouth. Did you really just bite me? I snatch a tissue and wipe my own mouth clean. So what if I did? Maybe you should ask Karen to satisfy you. He snarls that as my husband, he has every right to kiss me. I've had enough. Not for much longer. This marriage is over. 2 weeks later, my grandmother Vera is finally recovering. I move her into my apartment, and she can see that Brodie is gone for good. She tells me I deserve real happiness and offers me her life savings to start over. I gently cover her mouth, my eyes filling with tears. I promise her a future better than she ever dreamed. You keep your savings. I can earn what we need and take care of both of us. But as I start looking for work, I realize the truth. All my old professional contacts are gone, and this time, I have to build a new life from nothing. My friend Olivia gets me an invitation to Nocturne, the most exclusive club in the city. I need to build my own business after the divorce, and this is where the city's elite make their deals. A waiter leads me through glittering hallways to a grand private suite. Inside, the air is thick with perfume, cigar smoke, and expensive liquor. I'm led to a quieter spot, separated from the main lounge by a large screen. As I take a sip of my drink, I hear familiar voices from the other side. They belong to my husband Brodie's closest friends. They have no idea I'm just a few feet away, listening to every word. I swear I just saw Bethany in here. Brodie hasn't brought her out with us in ages. Why would Brodie bother? She's just an average woman. No family, no powerful connections. Their words are sharp and cruel. They go on, praising Brodie's new mistress, Karen. Aside from that face, what's she got going for her? They say a man eventually gets bored, no matter how attractive a woman is. If Brodie's finished with her, I wouldn't mind getting a taste myself. That tiny waist is something else. The rest of his words dissolve into a wave of crude laughter. A coldness washes over me, and my fingers clench around my glass. These are the same men who greet me with fake politeness to my face. For years, I did everything I could to fit into their world. I remembered every one of their birthdays. I spent hours hand-blending wellness gifts, choosing each item myself with care. But my thoughtful presence meant nothing to them. I saw the ridicule in their eyes when they preferred flashy, expensive things. To them, I was just a free ride, something to be used and discarded. I rise slowly from my seat. Instead of running, I walk straight toward the voices on the other side of the screen. I find Brodie's friends laughing behind a decorative screen. The second they see me, the room falls completely silent. They were just gossiping about me, the wife my husband is about to discard. I calmly meet their awkward stares with an amused smile. Their jaws drop, stunned by my bluntness. Gentlemen, you're way off the mark. When Brodie and I got together, he was a wide-eyed rookie, eager, energetic, and completely clumsy. I had his youth, enjoyed his money, and spent years as his wife. Now that I'm bored, I'm letting him go. Tell me again how I lost out here. I turn my attention to Colton Torres, the one who called me average. Colton, when your family's business was teetering on the edge, did I seem so ordinary then? I remind him how he came groveling, begging me to put in a good word with Brodie. Funny how once your project was secured, I went right back to being the nobody. He sinks into the couch, unable to meet my eyes. Next, I lock eyes with Lionel Vance, the one praising Brodie's new flame. There's a world of difference between the real deal and a cheap imitation. I deliver my final warning to them all. Brodie and I are finished. But watch what you say. You never know when you'll need help from the people you look down on. As if on cue, the door to the private room swings open. My husband, Brodie, walks in. His friends immediately start scrambling to apologize, but Brodie ignores them, his cold eyes fixed only on me. He strides across the room and seizes my wrist, trying to drag me out. Without hesitation, I throw my drink directly in his face. Bright orange liquid drips down his jaw as the entire room holds its breath. Bethany. His voice is a low growl, promising a storm, but I am unflinching. Let go. Go on. Enjoy your new romance. I calmly pry his fingers from my wrist. Bethany, you'll regret this. I lift my chin, my voice steady and cold. The only thing I will ever regret is that I should have left this prison of a marriage a long time ago. With my head held high, I turn and walk out, leaving him dripping and humiliated in front of everyone. I walk out of the club feeling more alive than ever after putting my ex in his place. My friends rush to my side, their eyes wide with admiration. Miss Reed, you were absolutely amazing. I have never seen anyone brave enough to confront Brodie like that. But while I celebrate this small victory, my true enemy is uncovering a secret that could destroy me. Across town, Elena finds her husband Lucian in his study, lost in thought. He's staring intently at an old photograph. The moment he sees her, he shoves it out of sight. Lucian, wrap things up soon and get some rest. I understand. You should sleep now. She knows his strange behavior is connected to me, the woman who looks so much like his ex-wife. The next day, she waits until the house is empty. She marches straight to Lucian's locked desk drawer. She retrieves a spare key from a hidden box he thinks she knows nothing about. With a click, the lock gives way. She slowly slides the picture out. Her fingers tremble as they brush against a photograph at the bottom of a folder. The color drains from her face as her eyes fly wide open. With shaking hands, she turns the picture over. The aged photo shows a young woman cradling a little girl. That woman's face is eerily, undeniably similar to mine. On the back, in Lucian's own handwriting, is a caption. The name crashes into her memory. Tessie. Tessie. During the season of pear blossoms, Lucian's first wife. A poisonous thought takes root in her mind, a dreadful possibility. If the woman in the photo is Tessie, and the child is me, then I am Lucian's long-lost daughter. And her entire family, her entire life, is built on a devastating lie. While I was away, my husband's mother, Elena, was plotting my demise. She found a secret in Brodie's study and decided I had to vanish. She immediately went to her daughter, Karen, with an urgent warning.
Karen, you must act sooner rather than later. Men like things that feel new and thrilling.
She told Karen to push Brodie to end our marriage fast. The very next Monday, Karen started her new job.
I understand. Bethany will not enjoy her triumph for long. Brodie, don't. We're in your office.
She became my husband's personal secretary. That afternoon, she made her move, bringing him a cup of coffee. She smiled and acted professional, but her only goal was to destroy me.
Brodie, you have been working since morning. You should take a moment to rest.
He looked up, his eyes lingering on the beige suit that hugged her frame. Brodie froze instantly. Without a word, he reached out, grabbed her wrist, and pulled her onto his lap. She pretended to resist, but her arms slid around his neck. He shoved her off his lap and straightened his tie.
Isn't this more thrilling? Enough. You can go now. I told you to leave.
He leaned in and kissed her with an intensity that fed her confidence. She thought she had won, but in that moment, my mocking voice echoed in his mind.
Maybe you should ask Karen to satisfy you, instead of throwing yourself at me like some animal.
Karen stared, her face flushed with confusion. She finally understood that I occupied a space in his heart she could never touch. The moment the office door closed, her soft expression twisted into a sinister glare. A sharp sense of danger clawed at her. The scheme she had nurtured for so long could no longer wait. I'm meeting my lawyer, Daniel, to finally start my divorce. He's one of the top attorneys in the city.
The prenuptial agreement ties your hands, but rest assured, I'll fight to secure what's rightfully yours.
I slide a folder across the cafe table.
I only want what belongs to me. My research rights and the property my grandmother gifted me.
When I married Brodie, his family made me sign a prenup that left me with practically nothing. I was a fool, drunk on love. But I'll be damned if I let that treacherous couple keep what is mine. After the meeting, I walked down the street, feeling a bit of relief. That's when a scream cuts through the air. Ah, help! Somebody! I turn into an alley with no cameras. Two men are attacking a young girl. One holds a knife to her cheek. Keep quiet if you want to stay alive. I don't hesitate. I grab a wooden stick and slam it hard into the man's back. He collapses, howling in pain. His partner spins around, a lecherous grin spreading across his face when he sees me. Perfect. Two are just right. You walked right into this, sweetheart. He lunges, expecting me to be an easy victim. He's dead wrong. I sidestep and swing the stick with deadly precision right into his knee. He screams and drops to the ground. With both thugs neutralized, I stand over them. They scramble away into the city.
Get lost.
I turn to help the terrified girl to her feet. She looks up at me, her eyes wide with shock, not just relief. Wait, I know you. You're Bethany, Brodie Wilson's wife. I find a young woman trembling in an alley after I scare off her attackers. It's all right now. They are gone. She grabs my wrist, begging me for a ride home. I'm scared those men might come back. She says her name is Sylvia White and climbs into my backseat. She immediately shuts her eyes, pretending to be asleep. We drive for half an hour down a deserted road. I try to wake her for directions, but she stays completely still. That's when it hits me. She claims she was shopping, but has no bags, not even a purse. I check the rearview mirror. Her eyelashes flicker. She's faking it. This entire rescue was a setup. It's a trap. Suddenly, a hand lunges past my ear. It's holding a syringe, aimed right at my neck. When did you catch on? Her voice is cold and unrecognizable. She forces the needle closer. I can't hold her back. I slam my foot on the brake and yank the handbrake. The car shrieks and smashes into the guardrail. The airbag deploys, saving me from the impact. I stumble out and drag her unconscious body from the wreck. Why did you bother saving me? She wakes up, stunned that I didn't leave her to die. Who ordered you to do it? She clamps her mouth shut, but I have a very good idea who sent her. Did Karen send you here? Her shocked expression is all the confession I need. I stare at the woman who just attacked me. Her name is Sylvia, and I know exactly who sent her. It was Karen. Sylvia is stunned that I figured it all out. But I'm not here to be a victim. That syringe held anesthetic, didn't it? What did she plan to do once I was unconscious? I'm here to make Karen taste her own poison. 10 minutes later, Sylvia sends a text to Karen. Do exactly what she ordered. Give her the outcome she expects. Mission accomplished. We are on our way to the abandoned cabin now. Karen's reply comes instantly, and it's vile. She sends the payment without a second thought. Bring 5 strong men. Make sure they enjoy her. Do anything you like. Just do not kill her, and make sure to take pictures. Now, it's time to spring my trap. I have Sylvia send another message, faking a crisis. You need to get here fast. I think I used too much of the drug. She's not waking up properly. Karen panics and rushes to the cabin herself. She arrives and snatches my phone from Sylvia. She sees a missed call from a man named Jonathan. She sends him my location with a fake message for help. A cruel sneer curls on her lips. Then she sends the same message to Brodie, wanting him to witness my disgrace. Hopeless. Move aside. She shoves Sylvia and storms into the dark rundown cabin. She looks around, confused. I'm nowhere to be seen. Suddenly, the door slams shut behind her with a loud thud. She hammers her fists against it, screaming for Sylvia. But all she hears is the sound of heavy footsteps outside. The voices of several men are getting closer. I stand in the shadows outside the cabin and listen. Karen's frantic screams echo through the night. The trap she carefully designed for me has snapped shut on her instead. The thugs she hired are now her worst nightmare. They think she's me, and they're following my instructions perfectly. Shut up, bitch. We know exactly who you are. I can hear her begging them to stop. But her pleas are useless. No, you're wrong. I'm the one who hired you. When her cries begin to fade, I walk over to Sylvia. I hand her a thick stack of cash for her help. You can go now. Stay on the right track from here on out. Sylvia takes the money and disappears into the darkness. My revenge is finally complete. But as I turn to leave, headlights cut through the trees. A Porsche Cayenne skids to a stop. It's Brodie. I duck behind a tree, my heart pounding. He leaps from the driver's seat and bolts toward the cabin. He hears the sounds from inside, and his face twists into a mask of pure rage. With a single powerful kick, he smashes the wooden door off its hinges. Bethany? He thinks the woman being attacked is me. Karen sees him like he's her last hope on Earth. Brodie, help me, kill them. Confusion flashes across Brodie's face for a second. Then, it's replaced by absolute fury. He doesn't know she's the villain, only that a woman is being hurt. He lunges at the men like a leopard unleashed. I sent a distress signal from an abandoned cabin, then I walked away. My trap was set for Karen. Just as I planned, Brodie arrived first, expecting to save me. His men easily took down the thugs Karen had hired. He found her on the floor, bruised and crying, playing the perfect victim. Brodie! You finally came. It was Bethany. She tricked me. He fell for it completely, wrapping his jacket around her shoulders. He looked around the room searching for me, the villain of her story. I never wished to marry you. I only want to stay by your side. With a furious look on his face, he lifted her into his arms. We're going to the hospital. But as he carried his damsel out, a Rolls-Royce screeched to a halt. It was Jonathan Taylor. He got my distress signal too. Where is Bethany? I have no idea. When I arrived, Karen was the only one here. While Brodie rushed Karen away, Jonathan's men secured the thugs. A moment later, my phone rang. It was Jonathan. Are you safe? Tell me where you are. I'm heading home. Do I sound like someone who needs rescuing? I told him how I used Karen's own trick against her. He warned me that I was playing a dangerous game. Brodie took her to the hospital. He thinks he rescued her. How romantic. The noble hero saving his damsel. The Jenkins family will retaliate. I knew he was right. This was far from over. As I drove, my eyes caught a massive billboard for a Jenkins Group brand. The symbol was strangely familiar, a memory I couldn't quite place. I pushed the thought aside. Tomorrow, the real fight would begin. I'm at the hospital, waiting outside Karen's room. I can't accept that Bethany, my wife, could be this cruel. The doctors say her fractures are minor, but she's covered in wounds. But Karen insists it was her. Her parents, Lucian and Elena, arrive in a total panic. The moment she sees her parents, she breaks down completely. Brodie, what happened to Karen? Is she going to be okay? She's wrapped in bandages, her face is swollen, and she looks impossibly fragile. It was Bethany. She lured me to an old cabin, then brought men with her. The accusation hangs in the air like a death sentence. Elena's face turns red with pure fury. That woman dared touch my daughter? I swear, she'll pay for this. Lucian looks me dead in the eye, his expression grim. Brodie, is what Karen said true? I think of the scene at the cabin, the men, the injuries. All the evidence I saw points to yes. I force myself to nod. He asks if I called the police. I tell him I was only thinking of getting Karen out safely. But Jonathan's men showed up and took the attackers away. He was there too, also thinking Bethany was the one in danger. Karen starts crying again, cleverly defending me to her parents. Don't make things hard for Brodie, if he hadn't shown up when he did. I promise them all I will get justice for what happened. I ask her to walk me through the details one more time, but she just clutches her head, her voice trembling. I agree to let her rest and storm out of the hospital. My head, it's throbbing. I'm still so scared. I just can't relive it right now. My mind is set on one thing, finding Bethany and making her answer for this. I never notice the triumphant smile that spreads across Karen's face as I leave.